awesome? I love it. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the VeryVera Show. You know, this time of year we go to our mailboxes and they're full of graduation invitations. And for me, it brings back some very special memories. I've over the years given away lots of college scholarships, and today I've invited 3 of those former recipients to join me to make their favorite recipe out of the VeryVera cookbook. So we're going to start with Tom Bacon from Beaufort, South Carolina, and he's going to make chicken pot pie. He'll tell you it's delicious. And then Will Godwin is going to join me. He's going to put together the potato herb soup. He's from right here in Augusta. And then finally, Stephanie Fail is going to help me, and we're going to do Vera's chocolate pound cake. She's also from right here in Augusta. Then we're in Vera's Corner today. I'm going to show you how to take the pound cake recipe and make an ice cream sandwich, and you're going to meet this year's scholarship recipient. So let's get started with the chicken pot pie. Well, I'm very excited to introduce Tom Bacon, who was my first scholarship recipient back in 1997, and welcome.
Thank you, Vera. It's good to be back.
I'm so glad you're here, and we've been busy. We are working on your favorite dish, the chicken pot pie, and we went ahead and got the butter melted, added in the onions and celery, got that good and sauteed, and then we started with our seasonings. We did a little bit of flour, salt, pepper, and sage. And now we've added in the chicken broth and the milk, and I kind of do it a little bit at a time. You know, the milk's a little bit thicker and then the broth. And you've been stirring it, and you've got it coating the spoon pretty good, and it looks great.
Yep, it's gonna be delicious.
This was your favorite dish at the cafe.
Absolutely. Chicken pot pie is just like a big, warm hug. It really is one of those great southern dishes. Vera's recipe has always been one of my favorites, and I'm glad to be here cooking it.
Well, and you know, you asked me for the recipe how many times?
At least 100.
I won't even give the recipes to my children, but now you're going to have the recipe because it's in the book. Well, Tom came to me in 1997. I was looking for a new delivery person to deliver all of these delicious foods over the Augusta area. Of course, we always shipped, but locally we had nice young men like Tom that would ring the doorbell. There was a little old lady that she would invite you in to put everything in the refrigerator, right?
And you always had to have a glass of tea. So if they offered the tea, you could never refuse tea. So Vera said, "What took so long?" I said, "You had to have the tea."
You had to have the tea, and I would get these calls with compliments about your manners and how helpful you were to unpack the bags and that sort of thing. So that was great. All right, so you've got that looking pretty good now. This is where this recipe really gets easy, Tom, because you just go to the fresh market and pick up a rotisserie chicken, and we're just going to add that in. And then, you know, depending on the time of year, and we were just talking about the Beaufort Farmers Market, you can put fresh vegetables in here instead of frozen. So these are just mixed frozen vegetables that you're going to add in. And the other thing that makes this really easy is the fact that you're going to use a pre-made pie crust. But if you're so inclined, you can make your own pie crust.
That's a little adventurous.
You spend some time in the kitchen, right?
We do a fair amount of cooking, and as you mentioned, this time of year, the farmers markets are nice, so it's good to go see what's out there and try a few different recipes.
Well, this young man is the proud dad to 3 daughters. And we were talking about what is your current project at work, and
I said the current project at work is to get done so I can get home and help my wonderful wife Kelsey out with raising those 3 little girls. We've got Bentley, who's 5, Spencer, who's 3, and then Sullivan's 4 months old.
4 months old, and she actually kept you up a little bit last night, didn't she?
Last night was not her best night sleeping, but she's a great baby, so she's good.
Oh, that's so wonderful. All right, so I'm going to take this this box of pie crust mix, and we always recommend that you, get it out and let it get pliable at room temperature. But I'm just going to fold this into 4ths, and then just take a knife and make the vents on the folded side. And we can go ahead now and put this in the pie shell. So grab one of those towels over there. So this is one of those friendly recipes that you can make ahead. It freezes beautifully. And it's, while you're making, make 2. keep one to eat, put one in the freezer, or take one to a friend. So look at that. All right, let's see how handy you are, Tom, with putting the crust on top.
All right.
So you just use that as your center mark.
Place that
Look
there.
at there. So he's going to get that together, and when we come back from the break, we're going to introduce you to Will Godwin, who loves the potato soup. We're going to make that next, so come back and join us in just a few minutes. Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining us, we're doing a scholarship recipient episode today with recipes. Their favorite recipes are the Very Vera cookbook. So Tom Bacon got that chicken pot pie in the oven. He just noticed it was getting a little brown on the edges, so we put a little bit of aluminum foil on it, so that's a great tip. And now I'm with Will Godwin, who is a commercial lender with South State Bank.
That's right.
And he was the year 2000 scholarship recipient. And you know, Will, do all the guys that worked for me in high school get gray-headed?
It's a growing trend for sure.
Well, was it because I worked you that hard?
I don't think so.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are now working on your favorite recipe, which is?
A potato herb soup.
And you have done a tremendous job on this roux. So let's kind of talk through that just a minute. We started with some melted butter and flour, and you just want to stir it long enough for it to get kind of toasty brown. And then we left that pot and we went over to a saute pan, and we did a little butter and onion. We had garlic powder, garlic salt, white pepper, and you've just really kind of gotten that good and sauteed. We're going to add that at the end. Let's talk a little bit about your years at VeryVera. You were in the packaging department. You also made deliveries.
Made deliveries, that's
and,
right.
I think I remember a story about me timing you one day.
You sure did. It was probably maybe the first month I was there, and I went out for my deliveries like normal and got back, and you came to me and said, "You passed." And I was like, "Passed what?" And said, "I timed you." And I was like, "Whew." I said, "Thank goodness I knocked them out pretty quick that day."
Well, and I kind of think you got the idea at that point.
Absolutely.
That I was watching everything. Another really cute story about Will is he would always tell any new person that came in that if you see Vera coming, you better grab something and act like you're dusting or sweeping.
Even fake it if you got to.
Oh my gosh. All right, so now what we did after that was we started adding in, I put a little bit of chicken bouillon, chicken broth into heavy cream. We added that in, and then halfway through we started adding whole milk. So all of this is ready to go. Now we're gonna put in the potatoes that we cooked. You just want to cube some white potatoes and get those, and we're just going to add those into the mixture. Oh, that's starting to look really good. All right, and then you're also going to add in the mixture that you had in your saute pan. So I'm making you work today.
That's fine.
You might be completely white-headed before you leave.
All right. Got a new recipe in my repertoire.
Tell everybody a little bit about your family, Will.
Sure. I got my awesome wife and I, Chapman. We've been married for close to 12 years now, a little over 12 years, I'm sorry. And we've got two awesome little girls, Chapman as well, and she's 10 years old, and Gaynor, 7. So they keep us hopping, keep us busy, but we love it.
Well, and you know, these sorts of recipes, because your wife is a neonatal nurse, right?
Respiratory therapist in the Children's Hospital here in Augusta.
And so there are many times where she might need to do something in advance. So something like a soup like this that you can have in the freezer, because this also freezes very well. You can pull that out in the in the winter time and just have a sandwich with it. It really works out great.
Helps me out.
Helps you out for sure. What, and you help with the meals too. I think you were telling me a little bit about sometimes you have to get it together.
I get it together occasionally. I can do some basic stuff, some spaghetti, hamburgers, cereal. I can knock that out. You
know, these recipes, you used to love to grab this in between shifts, so now you have the recipe and you can enjoy it. We're going to just add in a little bit of seasoning here, some fresh parsley. And if it needs to be thinned, you can do that with just a little bit of water. So I'll pour that in. And like I said, this can get packaged and frozen. It's a great neighbor gift. So come back with us in a few minutes. We're going to do in Vera's Corner today. We're going to show you how to make a homemade ice cream sandwich.
Ooh,
and then we're going to be joined by Stephanie Fail, who is going to help us make a chocolate pound cake. So come back with us in just a few minutes. Today I'm sharing an idea for a small dessert. We've paired up with High Road ice cream to create a delicious pound cake ice cream sandwich. Spray 2 half sheet pans with floured baking spray. Divide 1 recipe of my chocolate pound cake batter between the 2 pans. Smooth the batter with a rubber spatula. Bake the pans of cake batter for about 35 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the cake comes out clean. While the cakes bake, cover a half sheet pan with plastic wrap. Scoop 8 cups of soft, High Road chocolate chip cookies and cream ice cream onto the half sheet pan. Use gloved hands to press the ice cream evenly into the pan. Place into the freezer to harden. When the cakes are finished, allow to cool, then place into the freezer for half an hour. To assemble, flip the pan of ice cream onto 1 sheet pan of cake. Then, flip out the second sheet pan of cake onto the ice cream. Loosen the cake with a knife if it does not come away from the pan naturally. Press the top layer of cake into the ice cream. Cut into desired size for the perfect summer treat. Welcome back, everybody, and I'm so proud to introduce Stephanie Fail. Stephanie was the 1999 recipient of the VeryVera Scholarship, and you received it with your best friend.
I did. I couldn't believe it. Brooke and I had been good friends, and we'd worked together for you, and I knew that the scholarship recipient was going to be announced at the banquet. And when you started mentioning all of the attributes of the scholarship recipient, I just thought, oh my goodness, that's Brooke. Oh, she's describing Brooke, and that's Brooke. And I was excited for Brooke because I just knew that Brooke was going to get it. But when you awarded it to both of us, I was just thrilled that you were also talking about me when I was thinking that you were talking about my best friend.
And I'd never been in that situation before where I'd had 2 people that really deserved to get the scholarship. Well, Stephanie is a franchise owner of Merle Norman Cosmetics. She's very involved at the corporate level of the company as well. She travels quite a lot in that capacity. But when we reached out to her, she said that her favorite recipe was the chocolate pound cake.
Well, all of the desserts that you have are wonderful, but chocolate is my absolute favorite. So.
Well, we have been working during the break and we got some things done. We went ahead and creamed the butter and sugar for 20 minutes, and that is key to this recipe. And you're going, 20 minutes? Well, and when we make these recipes, we say that since you have to do that for such a long time, that's when you can measure everything else out. So you're not wasting time and it goes by pretty fast. The next thing we did was we added the room temperature eggs one at a time. You said you'd never done it that way, where you actually put it in a measuring cup and it just makes it really easy. But now we've just got this. This almost looks like something you might use as a mask in makeup.
It looks very beautiful. It's very fluffy.
It's just a beautiful batter. So now, Stephanie, I'm going to ask you to add the vanilla into the heavy cream. And then I'm going to put the baking powder, salt, and cocoa in to the cake flour. And we're going to be adding these alternately in this process. And we've got it kind of going a little bit slow. For one thing, it'll just go all over you and you won't look as beautiful as you look right now if that happens. And then it's just also easier to add it when the mixer's not going full speed ahead. So if you'll start with just maybe about 1/4 of that liquid, I'll start adding in the dry ingredients. And again, I love to just use a smaller measuring cup to do this. It makes it easy. Well, Stephanie, tell us a little bit about your franchise and your family.
Well, my Merle Norman Cosmetic Studio was opened in 2009, although I've been involved with Merle Norman since 2003. Here we go. I've been married to my wonderful husband, Keith, for 14 years this month.
Oh my gosh, it seems like yesterday.
I know it. I feel like I kind of grew up when I was working for you, so it's really neat to come back.
And you were in the video. You were in the video too when I was inducted into the Business Hall of Fame, and you said something about it being a grown-up job.
Yes, that was my first grown-up job. I mean, I felt like I was being treated like an adult. I was still in high school, but I felt like, you know, I was a part of a team. And you treated me like an adult.
It worked out nice. You were at Westside High School, and they had a program when you were a senior, and you
like
a
work study program.
A work study program where you could get out of school early and come to work. And I guess in some environments that would have been like a quote-unquote cakewalk, but it wasn't at VeryVera. We were expecting you to do quite a bit. All right, so we've got a little bit more to do to this. This is a little bit of a slow process. We're going to keep adding these ingredients, and then I've prepared the pan with pan spray, and we're going to put that in the pan and get that in the oven. And when we come back from the break, you're going to meet the 2018 scholarship recipient. I can't wait to introduce you to him. So come back with us in just a few moments. Hey, I'm Vera Stewart.
I'm Sanford Thatcher.
Sanford, that's a good firm handshake, and you looked me right in the eye. You're going to be a senator one day. Well, I guess everybody has just seen a bird's eye view of how I was introduced to this young man quite a number of years ago, about 10 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was Throwdown with Bobby Flay. Do you remember that day?
I do, yes, ma'am.
God, we had the best time, and I said, you know, I've got to involve my camp in this TV show. And they were a little hesitant at first, but then they ended up really using quite a bit of the clip that day. But you nailed it when I was, you know, doing the whole introduction thing. But, you know, last summer when we were looking at some of the counselors that we were going to have involved in our summer camping program, I said, I really want one of the young men that has been part of camp to be involved with us, because you loved camp.
Oh, I did, yes, ma'am. It was awesome.
Well, you were a camper of the week.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, that means you've got to be really confident, you've got to be a team player, you've got to enjoy all the aspects, and you loved the etiquette part.
Oh, yes, ma'am, I did. Learn how to set the table and everything.
Napkin folding? Do you still
I remember that we made little birds and stuff. It was great.
I mean, you can make anything out of a napkin almost, but you have to put it in your lap, right, Sam?
Right.
Absolutely. But, you know, just through the process last summer, you came, you were a junior counselor with us. You go to Wardlaw Academy.
Yes,
you're a senior, and so to have somebody from outside of the Augusta area to be involved, and these young people just thought that you were amazing. And that was exactly what I wanted to represent, was how it's created other opportunities for you in your life. So, you know, throughout the show today, I've had 3 scholarship recipients involved with us today. They came back. Tom Bacon made a recipe, Will Godwin made a recipe, Stephanie Fell made a recipe. We're going back into the middle 1990s, before you were even born, to, you know, talk to young people that have received the scholarship. And Sanford, I am very, very proud today to award you with the 2018 scholarship for VeryVera.
Thank you so much.
And tell the audience a little bit about what your plans are when you finish at Wardlaw.
So I plan on going to Presbyterian College and actually playing football there. They got me listed as running back. I'll be majoring in biology and maybe hopefully going to dental school one day.
Oh my goodness. Well, you have been an amazing person to me for quite a long time. And, you know, I said when I gave you the scholarship, I said, this is my way of keeping you in my life. But then I also said, Sanford, if you mess up, I'm coming after you.
Yes, ma'am.
And I will.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, so I really look forward to continuing that. But let me talk to you a little bit about what we made today, because these are all recipes that are in the VeryVera cookbook that I know last summer you watched me testing recipes, and I think you got to taste a lot of the things that maybe didn't turn out exactly right, but we have perfected every one of these. So we started today with the chicken pot pie. Tom Bacon made that. You met him. He's a lawyer in Beaufort. And it's just a great recipe for something quick and easy for supper. And then Will Godwin came on, and he helped us with the potato soup.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
was his favorite. You used to eat that in the
I
cafe.
did.
So that's another great recipe that freezes well. And then Stephanie made the chocolate pound cake. She said that was her absolute favorite in the cafe. So we've had a lot of fun. All of these recipes are in the new cookbook. You can go online to VeryVera.com and purchase one. I want to thank all of them for taking away from their busy schedules to be part of this with us today. I want to certainly say to you, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On a great career, a great experience that you're going to have at Presbyterian College. I want all of you to come back with us next week. We're going to do recipes for a summer brunch. And as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do it in good taste. I hope you'll come back, whoop, with a bang. I hope you'll come back and join us next week.
To see what's cooking with the Very Vera Show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.